Foods only the rich can afford. Hopefully this is interesting.
Tired of eating the same old food? Fancy a taste of some of the finest ingredients money can buy? A meal like this one would set you back more
caviar.
than just a few $1,000s. Don't believe me? Stay tuned to find out about some foods that are only available to the rich.
If you're new, don't forget to follow. Means a lot, goes a long way, y'all. Follow. If you're messing with the content, you want to see more. So we are going to be reacting to foods only the rich can afford. Me personally, I don't care what type of money it is. If food is food and like if it tastes good, no price or no dollar, I'ma just buy it. You feel me? Well, if I can afford it, of course. But like if it's nasty, bro, I don't care how much it costs. I'm not eating it. I'm not eating it.
King oysters. Let's kick things off with one of the most prestigious
oysters, I feel like, are mid.
around. Oysters.
Oh.
Unless you happen to be drowning in cash, these babies probably aren't part of your typical Friday night dinner. There are many varieties of this legendary delicacy, but just one can be named the literal king of all oysters, the Coffin Bay king oyster. Grown exclusively on a farm located within a sheltered peninsula off the Australian west coast, these...
I'm sorry, I did not know that is technically counted as a farm too. When I think of farm, I think of grass, dirt, cows. But that was on the water. Oh, wow.
Wallet-busting mollusks come with a hefty price tag of about $75 a pop. After being grown for 6 years, rather than the usual 18 months, each bad boy...
$75, you get like 5 of them? Or is it $75 for one? Because that's a meal. And then some.
They can weigh up to 2 pounds, meaning they can have up to 10 times more meat than their run-of-the-mill cousins.
Oh,
Their strong
okay.
aroma and complex taste have earned them the title of the oyster steak of the ocean. But if you want to shell out and see for yourself, you'll have to head down to Australia's Eyre Peninsula.
Oh, only in
Almost
Australia?
Caviar. Oysters are a great appetizer, but if you want to get real swanky, why not throw in some caviar? Behold the almighty Almas Caviar, which will set you back a cool $25,000 for a 2.2 pound tin. Of course, the tin is made of metal, which has been bathed in 24 karat gold.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's worth every penny, right?
Okay,
Caviar
yeah.
is usually made from the eggs of the Savruga, Osetra, and Beluga species of sturgeon fish. But this white...
I'm sorry, but who came up with we just gonna eat fish eggs? Like, who said that was a thing, and why did we all agree to it? Like, does the fish eggs taste that good? Please tell me.
Caviar comes exclusively from the albino beluga sturgeon, which lives in the Caspian Sea. Because their albinism is caused by a genetic
Holy
disorder, albino
mother
belugas
trucking
are
moly.
extremely rare nowadays.
That
doesn't
shit
stop
look
the
rare.
filthy rich from dashing their chances of survival even more.
Dang, they're eating on a rare species that's dying? No wonder why the caviar done cost so much. They're trying to make it worth the life experience of a fish. That's still messed up though. But $25,000? That food better be worth it better be worth the money, bruh.
Or by eating their eggs anyway. The pearl-like eggs are extracted from the specimens over 100 years old and are said to boast an intense, nutty, creamy taste best enjoyed on toast or
Nutty,
over ice with
creamy
vodka to
taste.
finish. Almas Caviar can only be purchased from one of the few select caviar house and Prunier stores in London.
There's a caviar store, y'all. I feel like I'm missing this side of the world. Like, I've never experienced that. Cause what? A caviar store? And I thought caviar was going extinct. The fishies. And you tell me you got a whole store? That's how you know they genetically modifying these fish, y'all. They put in, I'm telling you, definition of the government messing with us and our food.
London. And did I mention it's commonly eaten with a pearl spoon? Bird's nest soup. Have you ever felt compelled to climb a tree and chow down on an entire bird's nest? Or better yet, take it home and turn it into soup? Believe it or not, bird's nest soup is a...
That looks nasty as hell. I'm so sorry, but no. And if any of y'all eat that, no. That's crazy.
a major delicacy in China, costing anywhere between $2,500 to $10,000 per kilogram. These aren't any old bird's nests, but the nest of swallows or swiftlets, which are made from 100% saliva. That's right, these birds make their babies' homes out of their own solidified spit.
Oh,
and
no.
some culinary connoisseurs can't get enough of the stuff. When they're boiled in water, the delicate nests dissolve into a gelatinous goop, which is supposedly perfect for soups. Yummy.
No.
The asking price of about $100 per bowl can be attributed to how hard the nests are to get a hold of in the first place. Climbers must scale the dark and dizzying heights of the Madai Caves in Malaysia to scout for nests that are ready for the picking. Ideally, after one batch of eggs is
They try to make money off of anything, y'all. They just said they over here digging in deep dark caves to get a bird's nest that's made out of saliva. They literally spit the nest up. And then also you can have soup. Y'all rich people got way too much free time on your hands. Cause that just sounds crazy. And then you're telling me that's what you want. You telling me you really want to eat bird's nest saliva? Like what, bro? That or you guys don't care about what you're eating. Like it's giving, oh, this tastes good. What is it? Bird. After you done already swallowed it whole. And then you're going to be like, you don't care because you already ate it all. It's too late now. And those birds look weird. I'm sorry for pausing in a weird place.
is hatched, but before a second. After that, each tiny feather must be individually removed by hand. AM Samani Black Chicken. Chicken is
I heard black chicken actually tastes good though.
the most unique menu item, but have you ever seen one like this before? The AM Samani chicken, which hails from Indonesia, isn't just coated in jet black feathers. It's totally black on the inside too. This Lamborghini poultry grows at a slower rate and supposedly tastes slightly better than your everyday kind. But Samanis aren't actually eaten for their flavor. The reason for its elusiveness and desirability is that the bird can be traced back to Japanese folklore of the 12th century, where it was considered a mystical food of the elite. Its charcoal-colored blood is also rumored to bring power and wealth upon those who consume it, making it a sought-after good luck charm in certain cultures. Samanis are hard to come by in the US, so the asking price can be up to $2,000 for a full-grown bird and $200 for a single newborn chick.
Give me
Kobe beef.
the newborn chick.
Steak makes a mean main course, but if you want a truly premium experience, there's one kind that'll do the job. Kobe beef. These illustrious cuts
That
of
looks
meat
good,
are
though. I'm not
procured
gonna
from the
lie,
Tajima-gu breed of Japanese Wagyu cattle, which are raised in the Kobe region. The animals are so well esteemed that they live like kings. They're massaged daily, played
Oh, wow.
classical music, and even fed beer to induce their appetite. Kobe beef is renowned for its superior flavor, tenderness, and high amount of intermuscular fat, which contributes to its melt-in-the-mouth qualities. All Wagyu beef is rated on a marbling scale of 1 to 12 based on this distribution of fat, and Kobe beef
You know why they do all that to the animal? It's because they know the better you treat the animal before it dies, the better the energy it gives off. Just dope. Damn.
beef only qualifies if it scores between 10 to 12. The luxury beef market has even been tainted by controversy after numerous establishments tried to pass off regular Wagyu beef as Kobe. With Kobe fraud rampant in the US, all cuts must now be assigned a 10-digit ID number so that it can be traced back to the cow it came from. Restaurateurs must also carry a license of authenticity that can be shown on demand. So if you're a beef aficionado, it's worth checking before shelling out up to $300 for a single pound of meat. Blonde d'Aquitaine steak. For those rich enough to take a been there done that approach to Kobe beef, perhaps Blonde d'Aquitaine steak is more your forte. This rare beef is considered the most expensive steak in the world, and you can expect to pay about $3,200 for just one cut. The
They
meat
bugging.
comes from prized free-range
They
Blonde
bugging.
d'Aquitaine cattle and is produced by Parisian butcher Alexandre Polmard on his family farm in northeastern France. The extortionate price tag is thanks to the technique Polmard developed in the 1990s to treat the meat. The cattle are hand-reared and free to roam the forests and grasslands of the French countryside, and only 4 are killed weekly. Each cow is then slaughtered humanely to make the process as stress-free as possible. And
He
to keep
treats the cows
acidity
with
levels
respect
at a
and freedom.
minimum.
That's why
The
they
meat
taste
is
better,
then
y'all. I'm
stored
telling
in
you.
a room and pumped with a constant stream of air at speeds of almost 75 miles per hour and temperatures of negative 45 degrees Fahrenheit, where it remains in this state of forced hibernation for 15 years. To see if it's really worth it, you'll have to visit Polmard's store in
lied.
Paris. Very few restaurants are entrusted with the beef.
15
and Polmard
years.
pays each establishment a personal visit before they're even allowed to serve it. La Bonat potatoes. The potato is one of the most humble foods around, but not when it comes to the sought-after La Bonat variety, aka the world's most expensive potato. These spuds are so well regarded that they're even known as the caviar of the potato world. Why, you ask? Firstly, they're almost exclusively grown on the tiny island of Noirmoutier off the coast of western.
Can we just say that everything that's like exquisite or like for the rich, why is it outside of America? That's all I want to say.
In France, and only about 20 tons are produced yearly. Preparing them for sale is also an arduous process because they're too delicate to be machine harvested, so each potato must be carefully hand-picked instead. With all the added effort it takes to get a hold of them, you might be wondering why La Bonat potatoes are worth eating to begin with. Fans of the souped-up spud say the sea air and sea water, which acts as a fertilizer for the soil, gives the potatoes a hint of sea salt and even a suggestion of lemon. If you fancy La Bonats for tea, you should probably know that they sell for about $300 per pound. White truffles. If they're
$300 for potatoes? Are we shitting me?
There's one thing capable of elevating a dish to new layers of prestige, it's truffles. These fragrant fungi are some of the world's rarest delicacies, and even the Romans couldn't get enough, attributing them with therapeutic and aphrodisiac properties. White truffles, or the diamond of the kitchen, are by far the best. The knobbly white mushrooms can only be harvested between October through December in the forests of Piedmont and northern Italy, where they grow inches below the earth with the roots of hardwood trees, which means finding them isn't easy. Specially trained dogs or pigs, known as truffle couteurs, must scour the forest floor in search of hidden gems below the earth.
It doesn't look like they really hired dogs to find the truffle. They was serious, y'all.
Scientists have tried and failed to domesticate white truffles, meaning you also won't be stumbling upon any in your local supermarket anytime soon. These factors all contribute to the fervor surrounding truffles and the value their complex flavor can bring to risotto, pasta, and even foie gras. Just 1 pound of white truffles costs around $2,000, and in 2009, a record-breaking single 1.6 pound specimen was even auctioned for an eye-watering $150,000. Kopi Luwak coffee. Many people enjoy an after-dinner beverage, and if you're entertaining guests with particularly deep pockets, perhaps only Kopi Luwak coffee will suffice. Legend has it this highly valued coffee was first discovered in Indonesia under Dutch colonial rule. Native farmers and plantation workers were forbidden from harvesting coffee for their own use and were left to scrounge around for it. That's when they made an unusual discovery.
That's fucked up.
Civet cats would eat coffee cherries and poop out the seeds, or coffee beans, without digesting them. After brewing coffee from the discarded beans, they realized it tasted great too, mostly because the civets picked only the ripest cherries. The tradition continued, and nowadays vendors of authentic Kopi Luwak.
We're not gonna act like he just said it came out the rabbit's ass, right? So you're telling me that coffee beans, you're eating coffee beans that came out of a rabbit's butt? You wanna go back? Hear this.
From the discarded beans, they realized it tasted great without digesting. Civet cats would eat coffee cherries and poop out the seeds, or coffee beans, without digesting them. After brewing coffee from the discarded beans, they realized it tasted great.
After brewing coffee from the discarded beans, it does not mean it literally went through his old dietary tract and then he pooped it out. Am I tripping? Or it came from his butthole, right? And they're eating coffee beans from the animal's butthole. I guess it's the best of the best, though.
Great too, mostly because the civets picked only the ripest cherries. The tradition continued, and nowadays vendors of authentic Kopi Luwak coffee can command anywhere between $250 to $1,200 per kilogram. There are some controversies surrounding the unconventional beverage though. Primarily, civet cats are nocturnal and don't have big appetites, which means more than 80% of Kopi Luwak coffee sold in the US has never actually passed through one. Attempts to industrialize the process also means many civet cats are caged and force-fed the berries round the clock, which results in crappy coffee made by very crappy people. Densuki black watermelon.
Yeah, because it comes from their butthole.
After a meal as rich as the one I've just laid out, a fresh fruit salad is about as much dessert as you could manage. This won't be any old fruit though. Duh. First up, the Densuki Black Watermelon. These rare melons are exclusively grown on the northern island of Hokkaido in Japan in annual quantities of about 10,000 units. Besides their intriguingly dark outer appearance, they're said to have crisper flesh, more juice, and an enhanced sweetness compared to their overseas relatives. There's a lucrative market for decorative fruit in Japan, so it's not uncommon for Densukis to be purchased as expensive gifts. Depending on the size, they usually go for upwards of $250. But in 2008, one fine specimen even sold for $6,100.
Yeah, they're tripping over some
Yubari
watermelon.
King melon. Even the Densuki is a bargain compared to Japan's most highly priced melon, the Yubari King, which is basically a cross between two cantaloupes.
Oh,
this esteemed
cousins.
fruit is also exclusively grown on Hokkaido Island and is a major status symbol for anyone with enough spare dough to add one to their collection. In spring 2016, supermarket owner Takamura Konishi hit the headlines after he pocketed a pair of Yubari Kings for the eye-popping price of $27,240, making them the most expensive melons ever sold. But what does one of these premium fruits taste of? A gold bullion? Apparently, they just have an ultra-concentrated sweetness. Konishi said he offered such a fee for the melons to pay back the hard work of the Yubari farmers. But even a less coveted buyer can still expect to pay thousands at auction. Japan's luxury fruit market isn't just exclusive to melons, and in 2019, Takamaru
All I heard is we going to Japan, y'all. They got all the fruit.
Konishi raised eyebrows again after paying $11,318 for a bunch of ruby Roman grapes, which worked out at around $370 per grape. This rare variety is lauded for its juiciness, high sugar content, and low acidity. Oh, and did I mention they're about the size of ping pong balls thanks
Yo, $370 for a grape? What? What?
to years of selective breeding? When they first hit the market in 2008, 700-gram ruby Roman bunches sold for around $910, and their price has only skyrocketed since.
Holy moly.
Donkey cheese. A cheese course is the perfect way to complete a meal, but for a banquet like this one, plain old cheddar just won't cut it. Believe it or not, there's such a thing as donkey cheese, otherwise known as pule, and it'll cost you a pretty penny. This bizarre creation is only produced by farmer Slobodan Simic on his rural farm in Serbia with the help of some 300 donkeys from the Zasavica Nature Reserve. It's esteemed for its supposed healthy benefits with claims that it's high in protein, calcium, and omega-3 fatty acids. Getting milk from the donkeys isn't easy because only about 20 animals produce it at one time, and it takes several gallons of milk to make 1 pound of cheese. This is because their milk doesn't contain enough casein, the characteristic that thickens it into curd, to make the cheese the traditional way. Thankfully, Simic has a secret method to make the cheese, but it comes at a price. Each kilo sells for about $1,110. That's a lot to pay for literal ass cheese, don't you think? Which of these premium ingredients
Yo. No, some of y'all be wildin'. If any of y'all could pay for that food, I'd be tripping if my meal was double its price. But y'all paying $370 for a grape? Are you